Hi, and welcome to the Art and Health Podcast, Artsy, Heartsy, Episode 2. I'm your host, Tamara, and I have much to discuss. Let's go! In today's episode, we will discuss burnout and how it affects you emotionally, socially, physically, and creatively. Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. If you have been in any field that deals with high stress for more than a few years, then I know you've experienced burnout at least once. There can be a multitude of reasons you can experience burnout. Your company can place high expectations on you. And you can keep meeting those expectations, or you can face a penalty. Your choice. Your coworker or a higher up may be bullying you or making the working conditions intentionally hostile. You place high expectations on yourself, working on challenging projects, and everyone is counting on you to get it right. You're great at what you do, but there will come a time when you will fail. And you will. It's a part of life. You will take that failure to heart and feel like you let everybody down. You're juggling a demanding career, a chaotic home life, and serious financial burdens. And you've developed unhealthy coping mechanisms to handle the stress. As I said, there are 1,000,001 reasons that you can get burnout. All work has a degree of challenges that can cause stress. Having some pressure in your life is not the end of the world. Stress can increase alertness and help you push yourself to finish a task. But like everything else, too much of anything can be harmful. One of those things becoming burnt out. Creatives in general tend to hyper-focus on projects and put a lot of time and effort into finishing at the expense of their time. In contrast, creatives and workaholics find completing a big task rewarding and causes a high dopamine that encourages them to pursue the next big high. Many creatives do this for the dopamine high, especially if they have ADHD. Getting rewarded would be excellent, but if they were interested in what they were doing, they care more about the process and being part of the project. Workaholics do it for a few reasons. They seek validation, an opportunity for elevation. They need the extra money. They may not want to deal with personal problems at home and instead focus on where they feel a sense of control, which tends to be at work. Or they have severe depression and they're overworking, and they fear if they stop, they will become depressed. The reason for overworking will vary from individual to individual. If you're passionate about your work, you will feel like you're not even working, at least for a while. If you're working for someone or a passion project that isn't getting the results you envision, over time you may lose passion and start like it's work and wonder why you're even doing it in the first place. You're overworking, negating all other aspects in your personal life, financially, family, physical, activity, social life, education, what have you, and you're doing this for several years. It's a recipe for burnout. Remember, if your career is in the creative field, at the end of the day, it is just a job. You're completing projects for payment, and understand if you leave them, they can replace you as soon as possible. Work is not your friend or family. Ultimately, their primary function is to pay you and give you the benefits they promised in the contract. If a company says everyone is like family, they expect you to provide everything to them while they give you what the labor law mandates, or they go to jail. You can have coworkers as friends and hang out after hours, but understand that they're looking out for themselves, as should you, and you should have friends outside of work as well. Know your rights as an employee. Always read and understand what you're agreeing to before you begin working for anyone. Do not take on more responsibilities until you can adequately manage your own time. If someone is asking for assistance, make sure all your priorities are taken care of, or notify the higher-ups before you take on another project. Overtime is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you may need to take overtime for the extra money, or the deadline is very close. But don't do it to show your reliability or commitment to the company. If you end up doing too much overtime, it becomes the norm, and that is the time you will never get back. And also your team will expect you to do overtime. Do not agree to impossible deadlines. If you know how much time a project needs, and those in charge give you ridiculous deadlines, write to them. Tell them as professionally as possible that this project cannot get done on time, write something like, this is all I can give you in the time allotted, blank, 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 blank. We will need blank, blank, blank. And we need this amount of time, blank, 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 blank. With this amount of people, blank, 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 to get this done. Always respect your time. It's great that you want to be a part of something unique, but at the end of the day, it is time you will never get back. You can spend all night to see if your frames are rendered, or you can go out and eat with friends, work on your own project, or enjoy some peace and quiet. Have a social life. Go out with coworkers and friends. Go out on dates. Go to the park. Go up to meetup groups. Don't make work your entire life. You may be introverted, but you're still a social creature, and you still need to get outside. It doesn't need to be a huge crowd. 1 or 2 friends is plenty enough. Do not use work to get away from your problems. The problems will not go away. It will just add up and worsen if you do not handle it. If you're going through something big and feel like you can't handle it alone, find someone to talk to about your troubles. It can be a friend, a family member, or a therapist, whomever you feel safest with. You do not need to feel alone. Just having someone in your corner can be a lifesaver. Don't forget to do the things you love outside of work. We can really underestimate the damage that burnout can have on an individual. You can lose passion for what you used to love doing the most, a loss of interest in almost everything, and you feel like, what's the point? The National Institute of Health says symptoms include impaired executive functioning, attention control, working memory, emotional exhaustion and dysregulation, irritability, anxiousness, and physical fatigue. It takes time to recover from burnout. Sometimes burnout is so bad that even taking a vacation from work doesn't work. People with burnout need time to heal, but they need to work to survive to provide for themselves and their families, so they may never get a chance to heal themselves properly. You can be passionate about your work, but remember to do other things to have a balanced life. You only have one life to live, unless you believe in reincarnation. But you won't remember your past, so live your life like you only have one. That was corny, I know. But the point still stands. You need to have balance in your life. Otherwise, you'll be consumed with work, and then burn out, and then lose passion in your life. And then you're going to need time to heal, but since you got to pay the bills, you won't have time to heal, and you'll be miserable doing what you're doing, what you used to love doing. Tune in for the next episode coming in 2 weeks. In the meantime, find creative ways to live a healthy life. Stay tuned.